I'm Tatiana Whitlock with A Girl and a Gun, and for today's Instructor Spotlight, we are joined by Vicki Farnam. Welcome, Vicki.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Wonderful to have you join us. So, for the folks who aren't familiar with your legacy within the firearms training community and the women's firearms training community, can you give us an abridged version of your origin story and what brought you here?
Okay, so you went 34 years down into 34 seconds.
I thought abridged is an understatement.
I've been doing this a long time, for about 34 years. I started instructing with my husband, John, who was already a well known instructor when we got married. Um, and I took my teaching skills of teaching history and transferred it to learning how to teach people how to shoot guns. And along the way, I developed a couple of specialties, two in particular. One in being able to address questions from women students when John would issue instructions and the women would have this deer in the headlights look. Although he is a fabulous instructor, sometimes he left out information. And so I would start to fill in that information. At the same time, I started addressing the question from men instructors, particularly police instructors, about why they could not teach women, but they could teach men. And they used the same words. Well, that seemed to be a common problem. It was the words or the lack of words that resulted in failure of women police officers. So I specialized not only in teaching women how to shoot guns, but teaching men how to teach women how to shoot guns.
And the work that you have done has gone far and wide, and you are absolutely a plank owner within the firearms educational community. So I cannot thank you enough for that contribution because we see it everywhere. Now, you have a book that you wrote on the subject. Can you share with us a little bit about what that book is and how people can find it?
Yes, actually, I have two books out. The first one was directed towards male instructors, and it's called Teaching Women to Shoot, a law enforcement instructor's guide by myself and my co-author Diane Nickel. And the second book was addressed to the women, and we addressed it to female police officers because that's where there's such a measurement taken about how well someone can shoot. So it's called Teaching Women to Shoot, a female officer's guide by Diane Nickel and myself. But both of those books are applicable
Hmm.
whether or not you're a police officer, because the fundamentals are the same. We don't talk about tactics in those books. We talk about how to be accurate and competent shooters.
Absolutely.
And they're available on Amazon. They're available from me or from Amazon. And they're also both Kindle books from Amazon.
Fantastic. So anyone that's watching, I strongly encourage you to take a moment, Google search that, search it on Amazon, and add that to your reading materials and collection. We all have plenty of time to get schooled up since we are in lockdown currently. So a great opportunity. Now, you've done a lot of work within the law enforcement community, but you've done a huge volume of work within the civilian community as well. As a civilian participant in your programs, what would a student come to expect from one of your more popular courses?
What they would should expect is to come out of a 2-day class as a competent and confident gun handler and an accurate shooter, uh, with the emphasis on defensive shooting, how to take care of yourself, how to solve a problem of somebody wanting to do you harm. And I emphasize the fact that we want to be both competent and confident because that's the way you solve a problem. If you are sure of your own skills, you can solve the problem.
I could not agree more. And that raises a topic that we're getting asked quite a bit right now with the surge of new gun owners, particularly a nationwide surge in female first time gun buyers. What is the one piece of advice you would give to someone who is currently stuck at home with a brand new piece of equipment that they don't know the upside from downside with? What would you give them for a go to resource or place to begin?
I would say get my book.
Yes.
There are a number of books out there. Mine is not the only book, but if you, especially the book called Women Learning to Shoot, that takes you through all of the gun handling skills, and there are pictures and there's a glossary to give you definitions of terms, and it helps you begin that journey of developing a consistency in your gun handling, and learning those things about uh, how to shoot accurately, even though you can't go to the range. This is a good time to study that kind of thing because your mind can absorb it without having to be distracted by actually doing it, if that makes sense. Too often on the range, we're so worried about our performance that we're not listening to the step-by-step instruction the instructor is giving us. And so now your brain can be clear of that distraction of recoil and noise and the weight of the gun and the expectation of hitting the target. Read about it, find out how to do it. So when you do get to the range, it's like, oh, this is familiar. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, and I just did it.
It's true. It's wonderful. There is such an opportunity now to do those skull sessions, as I've heard them referred to. And then we have the validation of range time when it's reopened to us or when you have the ability to get there. And it's a fantastic emphasis on the other half of the equation too few of us spend time on. So again, make the best of our current situation and invest in that dry fire and reading. There's so much material out there. Well, thank
Yes.
you so much, Vicki. Again, how can people find out about how to join a class? We know where to find your books. Again, that's on Amazon or through you directly. Where can they go online to learn more?
You can go to our main website is defense-training.com. Uh, the name of our company is Defense Training International, and that web page will give you our complete schedule, and that's where people can register for classes. My individual website called DTI for Women is down at the moment. And why do websites go down? I don't know. It's beyond my skill level. But look at defense-training.com, and you can contact me directly at vk.farnam@gmail.com. vk.farnam@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Vicki. I really always enjoy spending time talking with you. And I encourage everyone who's watching to go online, investigate those resources, and look up more about what training opportunities there are with Vicki. Thank you so much for your contribution to A Girl and a Gun over the years and for your contribution to women in the shooting sports.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And good luck to you and all the good things that you guys do at A Girl and a Gun.
Thank you so much. We love you too.